welcome. Thank you for joining me today. I hope you are having a beautiful day and I hope you are enjoying this 4K version, darlings. So if you do not have your settings on 4K, I highly recommend you do that because we have gone up in the world, honeys. Things are going to be changing about this channel very soon. I have mics coming, I have some new gear coming, so the recording experiences will be a lot better because at the minute the tripod I'm using, it's great, but it could be better. So yes, we're getting there. Welcome. If you are new here, hi, welcome. If you are coming back, hello, how are you? I just want to take a moment and say thank you to absolutely every single one of you who have subscribed, who have came and followed me on this journey. It does mean the uttermost to me ever. Like, let me just take a little nicotine break. There we go. I've got my nicotine hit. So grab yourself a cup of coffee, a tea, whatever. I'm drinking Red Bull. And let's get into books. It's mainly 3, but could be 4 books that I am reading this January. I think right now is like the 13th of January. So I have a while to get through these books. 2 of these I have already started. Yes, grab yourself a cup of coffee, tea, water, grab yourself a little snack, and let's sit down and talk about a few of the spine-chilling, horrific reads that I will be reading this iconic January season. The first book I will talk about is Riley Saga. I'm not 100% sure how you pronounce this. The Only One Left. So this book I have had since publication day, which is way back in 2023. If you guys have been following me on my Instagram, which if you are not, I do highly recommend that you do give me a little follow there so you do see what I am reading and get more in-depth reviews of what I am reading. But I have had this on my physical TBR since publication day. And if you have seen my Instagram, I have been talking about wanting to read this book for the longest of time. And I did actually start it. As you can see here, I am 14 chapters in. I am really enjoying this. I am a Riley Saga virgin. I do have 2 of his novels, this being one, and the other one is A House Across the Lake. And the only thing I have with that is the print's very small, so I might go and get it either on Kindle or hardcover. Oh, I did that through my watch. I love that. Okay, so this follows Kit, who is a caregiver, and she's been given an assignment to go to the Hope family mansion, where decades ago the Hope family were massacred, and it became a bit of a story within the town, and it was a rhyme written about Leona, I think that's her name. Yeah, Leona. Leonora. Me names, you know this by now. But she gets there and she feels a strange, like, overbearing feeling. That something just isn't right, and she is helping Leona or Leonora write a book. So this book does follow that. So you'll get a couple of chapters of just the way it's how a normal book is. It will be a passage that's a couple of pages long of what it is that she has written. And that's basically giving you the story, because you're going to find out what did happen that fateful night, and did she actually murder her family, or is it all just rumours and speculation? This book, really good so far. Like I said, I am only about 25% through, and I am really enjoying this. I can see the appeal with Riley Saga, whatever you want to call him. But I am so happy to finally be getting this off my list. So the second book is a book I picked up just before Christmas this year. Well, last year now. We're in 2025. This is the first time I've sat down and actually recorded this year. And this book is The Cabin at the End of the World by Paul Tremblay. This book I have heard so many things about. I have never read a Paul Tremblay book, but there's a few out there that I do really want to read, this being one of them. And this follows a 7-year-old girl called Wen, who is adopted by her 2 gay dads, and their names are Eric and Andrew. They are taking a recluse trip away to the cabin in, like, I think it's the border of America, at the border to Canada, and they go there because there's no cell phones, there's no Wi-Fi, there's nothing. They can just have a full relaxing holiday when somebody shows up and starts talking to Wen, and other people start to show up too. I haven't got pretty far into this. I am only in like the 3rd chapter, but one thing I will give you about this book, and it's just a warning, and that is that there is only 6 chapters in this book. It's not a very big book, 319 pages, but it is only 6 chapters, so the chapters are quite long. But that is the only thing I will say. It is beautifully written from what I've read so far. I am enjoying it. I have heard that you will either love the ending to this or you will absolutely hate it. I'm hoping that I love it, but obviously we will soon find out about this. Have you read this book? If so, let me know what you thought of it in the comment section down below. The next book, the 3rd book that's on my January TBR, is Hidden Pictures by Jason Rekulak. Pronunciation there, probably just butchered that. But this follows, from what I remember, a 5-year-old boy that I don't know what this is about. Shall we read the blurb together? Because I picked this up for £3.29 out of TK Maxx, and everyone raves about this book on Bookstagram, so, and BookTok, so that's why I grabbed it. Mallory is delighted to have her new job looking after a gorgeous 5-year-old boy, Teddy. She's been sober for a year and a half, and she's sure her new nannying role in an affluent suburbs will keep her on the straight and narrow. That is until Teddy starts to draw disturbing pictures of his imaginary friend Anya. It is quite clear to Mallory and to Teddy's parents, even in his crude, childlike style, that the woman Teddy is drawing in his pictures is dead. Teddy's crayons are confiscated and his paper locked away, but the drawings somehow keep coming, telling a frightening story of a woman murdered. And they're getting more sophisticated, but if Teddy isn't drawing the pictures anymore, who is? And what are they trying to tell Mallory about her new home? Doesn't that sound amazing? And in this, I will show you, it does show you the pictures. I won't show you them all, but some of them are quite petrifying. I'm not going to have a little look really too much into it because I want to go into this pretty much blind, but I have heard really good things about this book. So if you've read this, let me know in the comment section down below what you thought of Hidden Pictures, because I know this has a major cult following, and I am hoping that I can get to this because, yeah, I am in need of a good little disturbing story. I love a story about kids that is just disturbing. I know that sounds really disturbing, but I think in horror, children are absolutely petrifying. I think in general, children are absolutely bloody petrifying. So when they're in a horror movie, not a horror movie, but even in a horror movie, but in a horror book, chef's bloody kiss. And the final book on my January TBR is a book where I'm hoping to get to it, but if I don't, I don't. I always like to have one there that I'm like, okay, I will try and get to it, but if I don't, it's fine. But it will be read eventually this year. And that is a Stephen King book, and that is Joyland. So I don't know much about this book. I really don't. I just know that I wanted it. I do collect Stephen King books. I do have quite a few of them at this point. Well, not quite a few. I have a good, I think about 20 at this point. And I have always wanted this, and it was so hard to come by because I'd never find it in any bookstore. And I came across it in a secondhand bookstore for £3. And I was like, snatched it up, and that was about 8 months ago. So I really want to get to this. Read the blurb together. College student Devon Jones took the summer job at Joyland, hoping to forget the girl who broke his heart. But he wound up facing something far more terrible: the legacy of a vicious murderer, the fate of a dying child, and dark truths about life and what comes after. That would change his world forever. A riveting story about love and loss, about growing up and growing old, and about those who don't get to do either because death comes for them before their time. Joyland is a Stephen King at a peak of his storytelling powers, with the emotional impact of King's masterpieces, such as The Green Mile, The Shawshank Redemption. Joyland is at once a mystery, a horror story, and a bittersweet coming-of-age novel, one that will leave even the most hard-boiled reader profoundly moved. I love a coming-to-age book. I think Stephen King does these books so well. You've got like It, everyone loves It. That's a coming-of-age book. We have, but there's a lot, like even like Salem's Lot. That's a coming-to-age that follows children and as well as adults. I think a lot of his books, Pet Sematary is also a coming-to-age type story as well, but that one deals with a lot of grief. And by the sounds of it, so does this with love and loss. So I think this might be a really good read, and I don't see many people talking about this. And to be fair, something based at a carnival like thing, love that. The one book I have read based in that type of theme was Hide by Kristen White, and I hated, and I mean hated, that book. But I am still on the hunt for that carnival circus based book that I will love, and hopefully this is it. With Stephen King, I do either love Stephen King or I absolutely hate Stephen King. I haven't read a Stephen King book in a while. The last book I did try and read was Salem's Lot, which if you haven't seen my last video before this, which was all the books I DNF'd in 2024, that book was on there. And I did also say that I would like to try and read that again now that I know a little bit more and I know what I'm expecting from that book. But this year I want to read the books I own, and I have a lot of Stephen King that I haven't read yet. I try and read at least one or two, not one or two, like one a month. But I know some of the books I own, like Stephen King is known for those chunky books. I might have one of them that might take me like a month or two to read, but it's like the one I just pick up every now and then and just read through. But I do want to get through these books. Another thing that I have put into place this year is I want to cut down on the amount of like books I am buying on a monthly basis, because I am buying far too many books than what I can physically read in one time, and it's not very good to be doing this and just keep adding to it. And I have run out of space on my physical bookshelves, so I have put not a book buying ban, but I am having to shop in my own library, and every time I read 6 books or 7, I can't remember, I will be allowing myself the pleasure of buying one book. That does not mean after every 6 reads I will go and buy a book. It just means, because I do love going to visit bookstores, and I probably still will go. I go about 2-3 times a week, just to have a little nosy. I love them. But it doesn't mean I'm going to buy a book every 6 times I've read. It just means if I see a book on one of my little shopping trips or whatever, or my little nosy days throughout, I will put that into my mind and go, okay, I would like to read that book. And then 6 books in, I can go and buy that book. And as a nice little treat to myself, having these bigger collections of books is amazing, but it gives me a lot of anxiety because I'm looking at them going, oh, I haven't read that, I haven't read that, I haven't read that, but yeah, I'll still go out and buy more. And that just adds to my anxiety. So this year is all about improvements within myself and within my actions and being a little bit more of a responsible adult. I know. Responsible adult. I can't do it. Very soon, in the next few weeks, I'd say within the next 2 weeks, I'll be able to sit down and record my bookshelf tour, which I am so excited about. I know so many of you want to see that, and I want to show it off so badly. But once I've got everything back into a stable order, I will happily sit down and record that video with you. And I am also going to be recording a unhauling video, which I'll probably do after I've shown you my book collection. And then a couple of videos later, I'll do the unhaul. But just because there is some books there that I know I'm never going to read, or it's just my tastes have changed, so they will be going. But I am rambling on. These are my 4 books for January, and let's just go over them once more. We have Riley Saga, Seeger, The Only One Left, Joyland by Stephen King, The Cabin at the End of the World by Paul Tremblay, and Hidden Pictures by Jason Rekulak. That looks like a good stack of books there, doesn't it? We love her. What are your January TBR reads? Let me know in the comments section down below. If you enjoyed this video, please do give me a little thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. And if you hit that notification bell, you will be notified every time that I upload. And please do go and check me out on Instagram, and that is Scream Scene Book Club. It's the same as Wade spelled here. Have a little nosy on there. Love to have little talks and conversations through the stories or posts on there. So come and join the community of the fellow screamers. But yes, thank you so much for joining me today. I appreciate you so much for taking the time out of your busy schedule to sit down and talk about books with me. It really does touch my heart. I absolutely love this. Bookstagram and Book Talk, you do feel like my family. And it's good to have a group of people that do like things that you like too, so you can have those conversations. It's amazing. So thank you so much for being there. Just beyond words, thank you so much for joining me today. Stay safe, and I shall see you in the next one. Bye.